So as part of a recent striking and fielding games unit, I wanted to come up with an assessment using the iPad and using Google Forms to find a way to quickly assess all the students' knowledge about the striking and fielding games unit that we'd just done. So what I did first was took a photo of our field set up in a baseball diamond or softball diamond, and just loaded that into the Coach Note app. So you can do that by choosing one of the custom maps down here at the bottom, and it'll give you the options to upload from your camera roll. So I did that, added the field in there, and then all I simply did was drag some different players down onto the field into different spaces, making sure that I had two teams. Okay, included the ball, and I just moved the players into different situations and scenarios based on the sort of information that I wanted to gather from my students. So maybe I put all the fielders in one side, or I had different runners on different bases, and then I had the idea of asking them different questions based around those scenarios, which I'll show you in a minute. So that was basically the first step of what I did. Once I'd finished with that, I set up a Google form. Now, started with name and email, and this is going to be important later because I'm going to use the Autocrat add-on to send the kids some feedback. So basically set up 5 different scenarios with questions like, where is the best place for the batter to hit the ball? So they had 4 options, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and they'd have to answer which one they thought was the best place and why it was the best place for them to hit that ball. Okay, so 5 different questions. Some of them were asking about the batting team, and some of them were asking about the fielding team. So, for example, in question 3, where should the fielding team throw the ball to in this situation to try and stop the runners or get somebody out? So, 5 really easy questions that are really simple to set up and will give me hopefully a better understanding of what my students know about the strategies and tactics of striking and fielding games. So now if I look at the live form, this is what the kids see. And they're going to go through and fill it out. So I'm going to go through and do it now. I'm not really going to look too much at the answers. I'm just going to fill it in really quickly. Okay, so they only see 1 question per page. Until they get through the 5 questions. This can be done on a desktop or on an iPad or an iPhone. Where should the batter hit the ball? Where is the worst place for the batter to hit the ball? Okay, so once they're finished, they'll submit that, and that's going to go into my responses. So really quick and easy. Probably took the kids about between 5 to 10 minutes to fill in. So even when they were on the batting team and they were waiting their turn to bat, they could start doing that and filling that in. Okay, so now we've got the responses. I can go through and view all of the responses. Okay, so it gives me all the answers to the questions. So you can imagine a whole class fills that in, or a number of classes fill that in. You can sort it by class level. Now, I didn't want to stop here. I wanted to use this information to give the kids feedback. So I can use a great Google add-on. It used to be called a Google script. Now it's called an add-on with the new version of Sheets called Autocrat to give the kids some feedback. So to do that, what I did was I set up a template. So the first thing you need to do with this add-on is set up a template. So again, I went through and set up the template. Now the good thing about Autocrat is the ability to merge information from another source into this one. So to be able to do that, you need to use different tags. So these tags relate back to the type of information and questions that you were asking before. So if you're looking back here, the first question was name. Okay, so you're going to use the tag name. Tag question 1, where is the best place to hit the ball? Explain why. So you can see throughout this document which I've set up as a template, there are a number of tags. Now these tags, once I use the Autocrat add-on, are going to be replaced with the answers that the students gave to those questions. So automatically, immediately, I've got this document that now has the student's name at the top and has their answers in here, and you can see that underneath each of the questions I've given what I think is the appropriate answer. So I haven't said it's the right answer or the wrong answer, or that the kid has got the question right or the question wrong. All I've said is that Mr. Nathan says this is what I think as the teacher, so they can sort of start to get some feedback and compare their answer to the answer that I've given. So now that I've got this template set up, I'm going to show you how to run the Autocrat add-on to make those documents. So if I go back to my responses here and click on add-on, I already have Autocrat set up, but if you don't, you just click on add-ons. Okay, if you scroll down, you should find it. It's the one here with the robot. If not, just type in Autocrat. It will come up, and you need to just make sure that you basically click add or whatever the button is here. But this needs to be added to your thing. So once it's there, you should see it here. Autocrat. So Autocrat, launch. And it's going to pop up at the side in a second. You can see down the bottom the wheels are turning. Okay, so the first step of this is going to ask me to find a template. Now, the template, like I mentioned earlier, needs to have those tags in it, or it needs to have at least some of those tags in it for it to find it. You can also create one here. I've already got that one set up, so I'm just going to add the template, and it's going to give me a list of options for documents to use as a template. So I know that I saved it in here. Here it is, striking and fielding assessment template. Select. The robot goes to work. Okay, and it's all there ready to go. So I want to use the template. The robot goes to work again. And once that's done, it's going to ask me to map the tags. So here are the tags that I was speaking about before, and it's going to show me all of the tags that it can find within that document. So like I mentioned before, if I go back here and I see name, okay, it's found that tag, and it's going to ask me to match the tag with the column on the spreadsheet that I want that data to go in. So obviously I want the name to match the name. So basically just making sure that the tag matches with the data that you want to go into that space. Okay, question 1, where is the best place for the batter to hit the ball? There's the tag. Okay, making sure that it's matching up. Explain why. Where's the best place to hit the ball? Question 2 there. Explain why. So make sure these are all matching, otherwise your information is going to be all over the place. So if I go back now and look, I can see that these are all matching, so all my information is going to match up. Okay, and I want to save. Okay, so now I want to merge settings. So it's basically Autocrat is going to create a new document. Now it can be either a Google Doc here you can see, or it can be a PDF, whatever you desire. But basically you need to name that document so that when it creates it, it's saved into your thing. So you can use these different things here as tags to add into the document. So if I use the tag $name, okay, the document's going to be called Nathan Horn. So maybe I want it to be called Nathan Horn, iphysed.com, striking and fielding assessment. Okay, so now it will say, when the document's created, it'll be Nathan Horn, iphysed.com, striking and fielding assessment. If somebody else, Joey Fife, was to fill in this form, it would say the document would be called Joey Fife, iphysed.com, striking and fielding assessment. So basically just a naming convention for the file. I'm going to make it as a PDF today. Okay, and I want to email and or share the merged documents. Okay, so this is where it becomes a really useful tool for feedback to students. You can basically, as soon as the student, you can set it up so as soon as the student fills the form in and presses submit, the document will be created, the feedback document will be created and automatically emailed to their email address, so they have instant feedback. So I'm going to edit the email here. Okay, so the recipient's address, again, I want to use the information and the data that I already have. So the email is going to be $email. The subject is going to be iphysed.com striking and fielding assessment feedback. Dear tag name, please see attached your feedback on the striking and fielding assessment. Regards. Okay. There we go. Attachment type is, we want it to be a PDF. Okay, and I'm going to push save. Okay, so we're ready for the next step. Save this information, make sure my naming convention is right. Okay, so I'm up to the step of now running the merge. Now, if I had a lot of different students in there now, it would sort of go through one by one. You can see that it's added a heap of information here at the end. Now, it's really important that you don't delete these columns. That's vital for this add-on to run. I can preview the extension, so I can preview the first line on there. I can also edit advanced settings here, so we'll open that up and see what that gives us. Okay, conditional merge options. So for example, we'll only merge if the class is a certain class level or certain things. I've never really used this option. I don't think it's that necessary, so I just sort of will leave that. It doesn't need to work, but if there is a situation where you need it to go, then fine. I'm going to go ahead and run the merge right now because I know that I've done it before and it's going to work, but if you're unsure if what it'll look like when you're done, just push preview and it'll only merge that first row. So run the merge. Okay, it will take a little while to do. Obviously, the more students you have, the longer time it's going to take. But as I mentioned before, if you set this up in advance of the students starting to fill the form in, once you get all of the responses there, then you can just start merging away and you'll get that feedback. So here we go. It's now saved, so your merge documents can be found in the folder below. So we open that up. Okay, there it is, created with the convention name, Nathan Horn, iphysed.com striking and fielding assessment. Open it up. And here's my feedback. So you can see now the student name has been replaced by my name as I entered into the form. Here's my answers, okay, and here's the feedback. So really visual document that's now been set up and shows the student really instant feedback on their knowledge and understanding, and it's easy for me now to see what all the students understand rather than having just a class discussion. And then this also can be used to be embedded into student portfolios. So that's something extra that we've done this year is included these Autocrat merged documents into their portfolios. You can see now here you've got your information. So here's the merge doc URL and the link to the document and when the document was created. If I also go to my email now, I'll see that that document has been emailed to me because I filled the form in. So as your students fill it in and include their email, they will get an email here. Okay, dear Nathan Horn, please see attached the feedback from your assessment, and can open it up, and there we go. So they instantly get that feedback straight away. So Automagically, as they say, creates documents. Find it a really useful way to give instant feedbacks to your students on their assessments. I was finding previous to that, I didn't have such a clear picture of what every single student in my class knew at any given time. There's a number of other Autocrat videos out there at the moment that you can look at, and I'll make sure to include those in the blog post below that you can look at to find out other ways that you can use Autocrat in your classroom. But really fantastic tool, and it's definitely been made a lot easier since the addition of this add-on feature to Google Docs and Google Sheets. I'll mention again that you do need to make sure that you've updated to the new version of Sheets, Google Sheets, for that to work, and you should know that by looking at this green tick in the bottom right corner. If you have something that says update to the new Sheets, then click on that before you can use it. But even if you don't have the new Sheets, that's fine, because you can actually use Autocrat on the old Sheets, just a bit of a longer process, which involves going and inserting a Google script. So you'd go here and so insert script and then find Autocrat and do it that way. It's a little bit more complicated. So definitely recommend updating to the new Sheets. And this Autocrat add-on just has so many possibilities for use and assessment in phys ed.